I'm very excited for today's video. Hey y'all, it's Jazz. Welcome back to my channel, and today's video is a video that I've been wanting to make for a very long time, and for whatever reason I've never gotten to it. Well, at least like not in the way that I'm gonna do it today. So today's video is gonna be an apartment tour. I want to walk you guys through my space and just show you some of the things that I've added to it and why it's here and what it means to me. I'm a huge believer that the spaces that you have can affect like your mental health and your energy, and I feel that the spaces that you create should definitely be reflective of the energy that you want to bring into your life. So for instance, my apartment was so messy yesterday. Like, it's embarrassing. I'll show y'all.
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
So I spent hours yesterday cleaning up because I can't function in chaos like that. Like, it was so bad. And I think, again, because spaces are related to energy and it's like a direct reflection of like your mental health, like clearly a cluttered apartment equaled a cluttered brain, and that's exactly how I felt this week. I felt like I didn't have any time to really do the things that I wanted to do. I was very burnt out because of work stuff. So like I said, I'm a school social worker, but I also have a part-time job, which is also social work-y. And by the time I'm finished with both of those, my eyes are like literally burning from staring at screens all day, and I'm like exhausted. So I just feel like my house was a true reflection of that. And so I say all of that just to say that I 100% believe that when you're picking a space, when you're building a space for yourself to be in, you want to be very intentional about what you put in it, how you decorate it. And I do not believe in waiting until you have a husband, kids, a partner, family, or a certain job, or the house, like you bought the house. Like, I do not believe in waiting until like those things are done to create the space that you want. Like, you deserve to be in a space that makes you feel good, that makes you feel safe. So yeah, that's what my space is for me. So I have lived in this apartment almost 3 years, which, if you know me, that's a pretty big thing because I typically move at the end of every lease. And that's either because I want a different place, I'm moving to a different city, I don't like management, whatever the case may be. I'm typically a mover. And so this is the longest that I've stayed in one spot, like one apartment. So that should tell you how much I love this apartment. So I feel like I have to tell you the story of like how I found this apartment and why I moved here in the first place, because that is truly why I've been so intentional about this space and making it a space that feels good and safe to me. So I want to get into that story really quick. I'm currently living in Richmond, Virginia, and I went to college here. I did grad school here. Like, this is really the city that grew me up in a lot of ways. So once I finished grad school here in Richmond, I ended up securing a job in another city, and that city was like where my sister was living. It was where I had some friends, and I was excited because I was like, hey, new job, new start, we're gonna figure this out. And I was still very excited about social work at that point, so I was really excited to go. So I got down there and I was working, all of that stuff, but I was also in a very toxic like relationship, a very toxic situation. And because of that and the way that that ultimately ended, it ended in a very dangerous way for me, and I had to leave. I had made the decision that I needed to be somewhere safe. I needed to be somewhere where I felt like I had familiarity and a safety net and support. And coming back to Richmond at that time was like the best decision for me. So that was like in the thick of the pandemic, like literally 2020, and I started looking for places that summer, and I had probably been looking for about 2 to 3 months before I found my apartment. And actually, this wasn't even an apartment that I was supposed to tour. I had scheduled some tours for some different apartments, and I had like a little gap between tours, and I was just scrolling on Facebook, and I found this apartment. Like, it was an advertisement, like new. Ended up squeezing in the tour, and as soon as we got here, it was me and one of my old co-workers. As soon as we got here, and I was like talked into viewing this unit, because I wasn't originally coming to see this unit. I was coming to see some different ones, and I was talked into seeing this unit. Like, as soon as I walked through the door, I was like, this is it. I knew immediately. So there were a few signs that showed me that this apartment really was made for me. Not only did it include like one of my angel numbers, again, it just made me feel very safe, secure, and it was honestly like it checked off every box of everything that I had wanted when I walked in. I was willing to sacrifice, because I was coming from a 2-bedroom, 2 full bathroom, gorgeous like condo at the beach. And I was letting that go to downsize to a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, like studio style. So like I had to get rid of so much furniture and so many things, and that turned out to be very cleansing for me anyway, because again, I was shedding all of the trauma from that previous relationship. I was in therapy, so I was learning how to process things and let go of things and give myself permission to start over. And so this all kind of came together in a very serendipitous way for me, and I feel like I was just getting all of the confirmations that I needed from like God, the universe, my ancestors. Like, I was getting it all. So I signed the lease probably like next day, and I have no regrets when it comes to me living here. I've had very little complaints. I love my little space. It's become my little safe space. So yeah. So this wasn't the first apartment that I've had by myself. I do feel like so much growth has taken place here, from the virtual therapy sessions that I was in for over a year, healing from all of the things. Like 2020 and 2021 took your girl through it. And I feel like I was truly going through a evolution, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Like, I've had some very big cries and very emotional things happen to me within this space, and I 100% am just grateful that I was able to experience those things in a space that again made me feel safe, that made me feel comfortable, that gave me energy. I felt like I could rest here. I felt like I could recharge here, and I don't take that for granted, because I know there's so many people who are in situations where, well, living situations where they might not feel comfortable, they might not feel safe, they might not feel like they're at ease, they're not able to rest, they might not even have their own space. And so I do not take that for granted. I know it is a privilege, and being able to transform it the way that I have. Also, I want to just give a soft reminder to those who might not be in a space where they're able to do this yet or celebrate this yet. I hope this is inspiring for you about what's to come, because this doesn't happen overnight. Like, this happens with savings. This happens, I mean, honestly, it's taken 3 years for me to get this furnished the way that it is, and I'm still changing things, and I'm still having things on my wish list that I'm saving for. Like, this doesn't happen overnight. So if there's someone who literally just moved into a place, or you're still saving up for a place or trying to figure that out, like, do not rush yourself. Don't rush your process. Living alone is expensive. Decorating is expensive. Furniture is expensive. Like, all of these things cost money, and like, you'll get it when you get it, as long as you're being intentional and making purchases, and getting things that you know are going to make you feel good and make you feel safe and things like that. Then, like, take your time, enjoy the process. It's been almost 3 years of me buying things, throwing things out, exchanging things, making things. Like, it is okay. Don't put that pressure on yourself. You're okay. This is the first year that I'm actually considering possibly moving once this lease ends, just because I do think it's time for me to have maybe a little bit more space. And then there's some things in my personal life that may cause me to move at some point. Nothing bad. Like, me and my boyfriend have been in a long distance relationship for like the last 2 years, and we're thinking about possibly being in the same zip code for once. But yeah, this is the first time that since my lease is ending, well, that at the end of the lease I may move. And because of that, I really do want to get this video, do this tour, and to really just document this space and what it's been for me, and I wanted to share that with you all. Let's just get into the tour. I'm gonna do a walkthrough and just kind of show you guys what I have in here, what pieces really mean a lot to me, where I got some of this stuff from, and if there's anything that you want to know specifically where I got it from, like if you see it and I haven't like talked about it, or you want a link, let me know in the comments, because I can add that for you and let you know, because I'm the plug. All right. Okay, so when you first walk into the apartment, I have like this little entryway nook thing. This area is probably like the most bare area that I have, and that's just because I don't know what I want to do with it. So I got a bench, and I really did that to hide the shoes, because I used to always have shoes up here. And then I got this cute table from Marshall's. The bench is from Target. I added some wall art up here just so it wouldn't be plain. But I'm thinking about actually wallpapering this whole area. Just this nook area. So like all of this, I think I'm gonna get some really cool wallpaper just to add some contrast. Like not real wallpaper, but like what is it? Oh my god, I can't put the word. Peel and stick. Wow. I get to that and just doing that section right there. Just add a little pop, because it is a little boring right here. So this is your view. Straight down the hallway. So this long hallway is actually one of the things that I love the most about this apartment. And a lot of people say that's just like empty space, but like one, it has very good lighting right here. So it's great for taking pictures. It's great. I just love how it gives you a clear view all the way down to like my favorite piece of furniture, which I'll get to, the secretary. So in the hall, you'll also see this piece. And then it has a twin, which is this piece. And so both of these are fabric, like actual fabric, but they are framed. And I like to put them in the hallway because one, it had like a touch of blue in it to match the secretary at the end of the hall. But also I like that they are fabric because again, it's just a sweet reminder to myself of like what my goal is. Like I want to get into fabrics, I want to get into pattern making and that type of stuff. So like for those to be the first things that I see as I'm walking down this hall, it's just a sweet little reminder to myself. I was very intentional about putting reminders to myself in here. Now we're at like one of my favorite pieces of furniture. So this is my secretary and she is thrifted. I thrifted her from one of my favorite antique stores here in Richmond, and I got her delivered for like only $75. Now she was a little over $500, but when I saw her, I literally just could not resist. So it's called a secretary because it's actually like a desk work area. So it comes with this key, which gave me big Beauty and the Beast vibes. Beauty and the Beast is my favorite movie. And when you open her, like it's an actual working key, it opens into a desk area. So this is why they call it a secretary, because it opens into this desk area. And my desk area is actually full of like fabrics. So I use this whole secretary as a craft storage area. So it's full of like spare fabric, my embroidery threads, my spools for sewing. I can actually sit my sewing machine here on the table. It's like super sturdy. So I can sit my sewing machine actually here on this table, pull up a stool and sew. And then the key. And so the key also works in this cabinet here. And this is where I store, again, more craft supplies. In here we have like my Cricut machine, my pens, I have an iron for like steaming my fabrics. Another Cricut machine for the mug press. And yeah, I've got some organizers in here for other things that I'm sure that I will accumulate. And then the bottom of the secretary, like all of these are drawers. And so again, like paint, embroidery hoops, more fabric, brushes, any hardware that I might need, I store in these drawers. There's 4 of those drawers, so everything on this is super functional. It is one of my favorite pieces. This is a piece that I hope to take with me, like whenever I move, whenever I buy a house. So the living room is easily the most expensive room that I have. My big purchases have happened in this room. It is a big combination of things thrifted, expensive things, more affordable things, and some things were actually like DIY. So I'm gonna take you through the living room, you know, piece by piece. Start with the thing that probably sticks out the most once you're in this room, and that is the gallery wall. All fanatic, and they seem to get bigger and more expensive every time. This gallery wall I just redid probably right before Christmas. I think is when I finished it all. But I've had several gallery walls in this space. This is just the latest one based off my mood. I wanted this space to be more cozy. I wanted it to be a little bit more filled with color and patterns. And so that's what I went with when I was picking out things for the wall. So let's go through them one by one. So I was very intentional when figuring out my next gallery wall about what I wanted. And so I really wanted to do patterns and colors, which is why you see a bunch of these like floral patterns, because I really wanted to just again remind myself of what my own goals were. I'm very interested in surface pattern design and coming up with designs and patterns for fabrics and just different surfaces. And so I wanted to really just have little reminders all over. So those floral pieces you see are specifically for that. I also wanted to have just some fun personality art, which is why you see like Beyonce on the wall. And then I love these pieces here from Deborah Cartwright. Those were a trio of hers that I ordered a few years ago. And again, they just felt very like personal. And I feel like I saw myself in these, just black girl, natural hair, sleeping in bed in the day. So I really love those pieces. I got these pieces. There's one here and one here when I moved back to Richmond. And those pieces honestly were directly related to my healing journey. I thought that they represented very well how I was being vulnerable and stripping myself down in therapy to start this healing process, just very feminine work. So I love those pieces. Those pieces are very near and dear to me. And together, collectively, they have made up my gallery wall. Pieces are very near and dear to me. And together, collectively, they have made up my gallery wall. And so my pillow selection, honestly, is just to, again, play more of the shapes and colors and patterns, and they just complement the pieces on the walls. So you see these greens, these pinks, fun patterns, fun shapes. And then once you tie that into the couch and the rug, it just all creates one big cohesive piece. Probably the most expensive thing in this room, as couches are, but it's held up pretty good. I actually do want a new couch though. This one sits pretty low and the trace is pretty thin. I would like something a little bit bigger, but for this space I can't go but so big. So that'll be a next apartment thing. My favorite setups, you may have seen this corner on my Instagram because I do love this corner. And let me just take you through here. So I am a mirror girl. If you haven't caught on yet, I keep mirrors in my house in like all corners. One, because in small places, mirrors make your space feel bigger because it's reflecting off light and images. So it just adds dimension, which is why you see so many mirrors in my spaces. These two pieces, came from a thrift. And I just love how feminine these are. I got these again when I moved back to Richmond and was just really leaning into my vulnerability and my femininity, which is why I did go ahead and invest in these. They were again at an antique store, but they were not cheap at all. But I don't regret buying them, not even a little bit. This cabinet actually came from that same antique store. They were cheaper than the hands. Well, it was cheaper than what the hands were. And it's just this cute little corner cabinet. It's actually, if I moved the mirror, you'd see it's actually shaped for the corner. So it fits here perfectly. And I've just filled it up with some really cute things. So this is incense. It's actually Pisces scented incense, which I am the Pisces queen. I've got some cool little fun books here, a picture, and then a bell. My grandmother's middle name is Bell, so I got that to kind of honor her. I do think I'm gonna actually make this space into a mini altar at some point, but it started with Bell being right there. Got some plants, haven't killed them yet. Also, Bailey's toys, getting them in a cute little basket to keep them all from being all over the place like they were previously has been amazing for me. I am going to pull this basket out into the light so you can see it better. And I have a blanket to hide the things, but this is like my little craft basket full of like embroidery projects, yarn, my embroidery stands, things like that. And I keep it right here next to the couch because it's so easy just to pull out so that I can embroider while I'm like watching TV or binging. This TV stand slash bookcase, because I'm running out of space for books, came from the same place I got my couch, All Modern. And it's a really good piece of furniture. Honestly, it's been lasting for quite a while. I have no complaints about it. It's adorable. And it holds my TV. And then just so that wall didn't look so blank, I ended up getting a wall piece, a wall hanging from World Market. And I feel like it really did help tie all of like the neutral colors in here together. Same room, and this is why I say my apartment is definitely studio style, because everything in here is kind of combined. Another mirror, and my bookcase. So I actually DIY'd this bookcase when I got it from a thrift store. Actually, my sister and her husband got it for me. And it was like yellow, see-through, a little beat up. I actually added a backing to it, and at one point it was like wallpapered, but now it's just white. And I thought about throwing it out a million times, but I'm keeping it because I have nowhere else to store all of these books. As you can see, I'm an avid reader. I'm trying to get back into reading as much as I was. Finding the time has been really hard, but then also it holds some really cool knickknacks. So like this is like the little Harry Potter piece. My iPad. I have another little sweet reminder. It says, "May your spool always be full," which I got from Hobby Lobby in the sewing section to just remind me to like practice your sewing, find your happy, even when life is hectic. I love ring dishes and like very cool jewelry dishes. So I got this off Etsy, and I ended up getting one for all of my best friends too for Christmas. But if you know me, I throw jewelry like anywhere, so I try to keep a bunch of jewelry dishes around the house. These, I have two of these. These came from Goodwill actually for like $2-3, and I just got these because again I'm a huge Beauty and the Beast fan, so I thought that these would be cute little decorations to add to like this space. So I have the other one right there. My iMac, I did an unboxing on Instagram and TikTok of my iMac, but that is my workstation, and so again it just all ties straight sight lines, like all the colors match. So that is always the goal, like from whatever direction you're at, the black, you see the contrasting colors, you see a connection that ties it all together. Last but not least, we have my bedroom. This is another space that is probably been seen on my Instagram. I do post my bedroom sometimes in like reels and things, and honestly I love my bedroom. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I don't know how this became a vlog style, but it did. So my bedroom also has the same brick wall that runs alongside the living room. So again, continuity, sight lines, and I've got some just fun, again, patterns and pillows. And another gallery wall. This gallery wall is just more, I guess, eclectic. We have some of these same photos that were like in the living room, just again for continuity. This is a tray that I got from a thrift store. I want to say maybe the same thrift store as the green cabinet and the hands. And I just think it's a very gorgeous pop of color. I used to use it as like a coffee table tray, and then I realized it would make beautiful wall art because of the details, and I thought they really complemented the room. Again, more of these really feminine, like naked pieces of women, an homage to my healing journey. More mirrors just to add light to this space. More Black Girl Joy. Gifted this Angela Davis piece, so I love that very much. And then just some eclecticness. Another rug. Baby's bed. At this point, sneaky storage again. I thought that I was going to run out of room in my bedroom closet, so I ended up getting a clothing rack. And usually I'll just hang like coats and things in here that I think I'd like, or like I'll need, like jean jackets, things like that I usually need on the fly. But I don't know what's gonna go right here right now, because everything's in my closet. I got rid of a lot of clothes because I'm trying to also be more intentional about what I'm wearing and how it makes me feel. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna hang from there, but right now it's also holding books that have nowhere else to go, so I'm keeping it. I have like nooks, crannies, and shelving. I don't know if you can see, but like that whole area over there is like a cutout that pushes back. And then you have this really cute shelf up here. And so right now I have some ivy from up there. I have that cute like woven basket that came from, well, vase that came from a thrift store as well. I have a mirror back here, a rug, some extra pillows. Me again. Actually, my mom gave me an old jewelry box of hers, and so it's like a cherry wood color, which is not really my thing, but I will be DIYing it, painting it, sanding it, so that'll be its own video. But I needed a jewelry box. Another mirror. And this wall is extremely blank too. I used to have a bunch of photos over there, but I took them down because I said I was going to do something else with it, so stay tuned for that. And again, I am the queen of sneaky storage, so I had got a lot of these boxes from like IKEA and Michael's, and it holds like hair supplies and makeup and skincare and all of those miscellaneous things, so that like I don't have them all thrown in a drawer somewhere or like just strewn all over my dresser. Yeah, that's my apartment. It somehow turned into like a vlog style tour, but I'll take it. I really just wanted to share again what I've done with it, what some of these pieces in here mean, showing you guys that you don't have to spend all of your money to get stuff. Like a lot of this stuff has been thrifted, like I said, Goodwill, I know, plenty of times, and then other little thrift stores, and it takes time. This is the culmination of 3+ years, because some stuff came from like even when I was in grad school or like from my first apartment. So take your time, create spaces that you love, and I'll see you guys next time.
So